Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I will be showing you how to completely install and wire an LED light bar. So we go from this to this. Now let's get into the video. So for the first part, installing your LED light bar. These are some common hand tools that you can use. So first off, it's just two ratchets. This one's a 1/4 drive, this one's 3/8 drive. An extension, a Torx 30, Torx 40, some WD-40, flashlight, scissors, some zip ties. The zip ties and the scissors are for later, so let's get into it. The thing that we need to do is take off this little bracket piece. For this one, you need to use the Torx 40. It's simply just 6 of these bolts here and here, and then this piece comes off. So we'll be back when that side and that side are off. Alright guys, so we took all of these 6 bolts out. Now we just have to take this. So it comes off like that. You could clean it. We won't be needing this part anymore. As most LED light bars, they do come with a bracket that goes over top of this. Some LED light bars can go over this, but my specific model requires you to remove this piece. I forgot to mention one thing. If you already have existing LED lights like I did, I wanted the whole bar and the brackets over here so I could fit these. You need to first take these off. If you have anything on this side, take that off first. Alright guys, so I just opened the LED lights. This is one of the brackets. So this is how the bracket looks. Comes with these pads. All you really gotta do is just peel the backing off, match it up with the holes here, and then stick it on. This makes a nice little cushion so it's not metal to metal contact. Alright guys, so this is how it looks. I didn't finish all the bolts, but basically all you want to do is put a couple down to hold it in place, tighten these two a little bit, then this one, then go up, and then continue finishing tighten this one, and then finish up with these. You will have one extra one here, just put the bolt back. You don't really need this hole. But yeah. Little tip, if some of these LED kits come with extra bolts here, they're a different size here, but they also come with these washers. The old factory ones, like mine, are all they're all destroyed. So what I did, I'm taking off the factory washers and I'm replacing them with these because these fit exactly up there. And you might be asking, like, why don't you just use these? These ones on mine, they don't fit. I'm not sure why. And these ones reach all the way, and they're, you know, I like to use the factory ones, but I'm not sure these ones don't fit on mine. Just a little tip here. What I like to do to make sure I don't over tighten it, because there's no specific torque for this, I usually just tie it by one hand until I can't anymore, and then I use two hands and then go a little bit. So now I can't go anymore with my one hand, so I just go 1, 2, and then that pretty much locks it in place. Alright guys, so here it is, the light bar itself. One particular thing I like about this is that it's no rewiring, it's just a connection here. So you just connect the cable end here, and it's just a snap-on. So what I'll get into this later when I actually wire it, but I would put black tape on it over top. So this kit came with just all of this installation stuff. Honestly, I didn't use this for the white Jeep, and I don't really care to use it. You can, of course, but all I'm using is the bolts that came with it. So all we're simply gonna do is take these smaller ones, and there's mounts on the side that we'll just screw it in. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so here's the plan. So we are gonna put that bolt right through here, this little hole over here, and it's gonna connect to the light bar. We're gonna put a washel and locking washel between here and here, and tighten it down. So when it's done, it should look like this. I'm not sure if you can see that, but we have a washel in between this. And get a buddy to help you with this, as it'll make it a lot easier, because you would mount it. Now one person works on that end, one person works on this end. This kit comes with a tool to tighten it down. So all we do is tighten this down here. When I get it on, I'll show you guys how it looks. Just before I actually install it, I just wanted to show you guys what I did. So basically what I'm gonna put first is this locking washel here, and then we're gonna put that through that hole, and then on the other end we're gonna have a regular washel, as you can see here, and then we're just gonna tighten that down on both sides. Alright guys, so with the help of my dad, we put it up and it's all good now. The only little trouble we had was between here, fitting the washel on both sides, but it wasn't like, it took some patience, took like 5 minutes each side, but otherwise it went pretty well. So basically what we did was, once we had both of them on, we kept tightening this side and the other side little by little until it's hard to move. You want some mobility, but not so that it's not flopping around here. Almost forgot to mention this, but it came with the kit. So these 4 little rubber inserts. If you don't put these on, and if the way you put it, like if it's tilted too much this way or this way, when you're driving, you'll hear like a really loud like growl, like on a like a turbine or something like that. Just easy fix. You just put these rubber inserts, or you just play around with it with the positioning. First time it scared the heck out of me on this one. Then I realized I forgot to put those inserts in, and now it's fine. I also like adjusted it a little bit. Yeah, so now it's fine. Just make sure you do that if your kit comes with it. Alright guys, so now we're gonna mount these little cube lights. So for this, what I like to do is in this part right here. Right now it's just kind of flopping loose. So I like to align it in the middle, and maybe take the tool that comes with it and just tie it down a little bit like that, just so it's not flopping around. So now with that on the side, the 2 mounts here, I just put it together so it comes with the 1 washel here and then a nut. The top is cool because it just fits right between those 2 little grooves, so once you have it, it doesn't move. So now we're just gonna go ahead and connect it to the 2 brackets, and that should be it for now. Alright, so for this nut, I forgot to mention, but it's a 14 mil socket. So to install it, all you gotta do is put the washel like this through here. It's only 1 washel, by the way, and then put it through this mount over here. So it's like that, and then just put the nut at the bottom and tie it. So since the bracket is just here, we just want to snug it up. We don't want to actually like fully tighten it, because we might want to adjust it when we have the actual light on. So when I have this side and the other side done, I'll come back. Alright, so now that we have these brackets snugged up here, what I did is I just went and I fully tightened this right in the middle here. So the bolts that came with it are these 10 mils. I'm only going to be using 1 washel on each side, because it's really hard to fit between this little bracket and another one over here. As you can see here, one of the reasons why I said to just keep the bracket here loose is so that you could turn this around, and then it's easy to actually like put the bolts in here. So like I said, this was a 10 mil. So if I were you, just grab a deep socket, 10 deep. So just snug it in like that. Do the same to the other side. There's 4 over here, and then 2, like 4 in total. So I'll come back when I'm done both sides. Other thing here, I had to use a flex head here. to reach under here and securely tighten the 14 mil bolt. Because the regular ratchet and socket wouldn't fit here, so I just use the flex head. Alright guys, so the LED cubes are in now, so now we're ready to wire. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift this centerpiece with these two, same on the other side. I folded these wires right now, but basically this cable is gonna run through here, under this, and all the way to that side where the battery is. The cable for the big part of the LED goes down that side. If you look at this one, that's exactly what I did. So this cable went through here, went under, went throughout the engine bay. Then on this side, the main LED light came down here. See, I put black tape and a zip tie here, and then I linked these two to go under here and to go under to battery, and then run it through inside. I'll show you that in a sec. Let me get the wires out. So unfortunately I had to delay the video for a few days, but now that we're done putting the brackets on and the LED lights on, we're gonna work on the wiring. So my kit, it came with this bundle of wires. So there's 3 here that would connect to each of the LED lights. Then there's a switch would connect to battery terminals, and inside there's a fuse right here, the little black thing right here, that's a fuse. So let's get into it. So the first thing I would do is untangle these wires, and then what I like to do is approximately lay them out so I could see approximately where they would be. So for example, where the 2 terminals and the battery are, they're going to be around here, then the wires are just going to go there. I'm just going to briefly lay them on top so I have a good sense of where I'm going to put it. So all I did was I took a few of these small zip ties and I just put them around here, around the cable, to make it organized. And I connected these switches, but I didn't put them in fully because I'll be needing to rearrange them a little bit. But to make it organized, I just put it general plot. So basically, here's what's going to be on your battery, negative, positive. And then if you follow this cable to the other side, there's this switch, and then the other connection to the last LED light. So basically, you're going to take off this cover, which just kind of pops up like this. And then from that, we're going to basically wire it and put a few of the big zip ties to connect it along this big wiring harness all the way down. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is hook up the relay. So for this, all I'm going to do, you can put a bolt through, but I'm just going to use a zip tie. We're going to put that through these holes, or just one of them. I didn't need to make these holes, they were automatically stocked from factory. It's from the factory, so that was a bonus. So for this, all I'm gonna do is just go like that. Make it come around here. And just like that. I'm not gonna tighten it all the way, just in case if I have to cut it. But basically, that's it right there. For this next part, you're gonna be using a Torx 30 to take off these 2 bolts and those 2 at the other end. You're just gonna lift it up so you can slide these wires under. So right now, all I'm going to do is just put black tape over this, and I've properly connected it, because now we're just going to run this under here. Okay, so after I put black tape on this, I just zip tied it onto this bracket piece here. Same with the other one. So I kind of put them together over here, and then I ran the wires under here. So when you see, right here, they run under there, and I folded them back so that they're not interfering and they still have room to move here. And if we look down here, you can see that they just come out right over here. So now we're just gonna connect the battery and then put it across. See you guys later. I also forgot to mention, but do this exact same thing on the other side. So for example, just zip tie this piece, because you only have the smaller LED light, right? So just zip tie it to this. It's optional, you don't need to. I'm probably just gonna run it through without a zip tie, but if you want to put one, I'm not stopping you. Alright, so the next thing is I'm gonna put the switch inside. So the easiest way to do this is if you go in the engine bay, on the driver's side there's a little rubber hole right about there, over here. Sometimes it might have already a pre-made hole like mine does. On my white Jeep it didn't. I had to make a hole. But basically all you would do is, if your LED light has a option for this, you could either take out each of these, or you could just unplug it like this so it splits. So basically I'm gonna run this through that and then connect the actual switch itself here inside. So basically we just go inside, and if you go under the dash and steering, you will see that all the way up there, that little black dot, you're just gonna get a knife or a blade and you're gonna cut through that. So I like to just make like a plus sign type of cut. One cut going vertically and one diagonally. So I'll show you that after I'm done. Alright, so now that I cut the hole, I find it easiest to go from the inside outside. So the switch part that I disconnected, I'm simply just gonna run this through there and then take it from the engine bay and then connect it. So it's in there now. And if we go into the engine compartment, you can see down there the cable's right here. So here. So now I can just reconnect it with this, and I'll show you guys the next part. So now the next part is that, since I know I'm not going to be working with this anymore, because the only thing I needed to do was run it inside, I'm just going to take black tape and some scissors and then nicely wrap it all around so that it makes a watertight seal. So I'll show you guys how it looks when it's done. Alright, so now that it's all done and taped up, nicely watertight sealed, I'm just going to run it back through inside, because we don't need all this extra cable, and I'll show you in a sec why. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this steering column part off. It easily just snaps off and on. Alright, so all I do is just take this part off. It comes down like this and you just take it off. And then I'm just gonna bring this wire all the way up here, and then I'm gonna put it between this little gap here and have it hanging here for now. One thing I forgot to mention is that when you get this cable, you need to take out this little steering part. This is just under the steering wheel. Usually it would look like this. Look like that. Just take this part off. Once you take that off, then your little connector for the button itself, you just gotta slide through the top like this. And then under, when you look under here, you will see that the cable should come back. So when you're done, it should look something like this, where you have the connecting part at the back of this, and then this can just pop up over here. So when you're done, just put that away. We won't be using this area anymore. And then connect it, and let's move on. So once you black taped and made a nice waterproof seal on the actual connection, the two connections, what I would do is I would put black tape around here too. Just because these little wires can eventually probably, if any moisture or water gets in it, it's going to disrupt the connection. And then you won't know what's wrong. So, better safe than sorry, right? So what I just did is that, basically I'm just going to keep it here so I have a nice easy access. Just to flick it on and off here. Just under the steering wheel. But it's also not in the way of your knee so you don't accidentally click it on and off. So I just put it there, ran it through back there, and over there, I'm just going to run it back to the engine. Alright, so now that I've made it nice and organized, I'm simply just going to zip tie this to this main wiring harness. I'm going to do that throughout the whole, all of the wires throughout the whole engine bay. Just following this one wiring harness all the way there. So I'll come back when it's done. Alright, so basically what I did here is I split into two sides. So from here, on this side, you can see the relay here. There's one bundle of wires that go to these two LED lights over here. So it's kind of like a little loop here. So I'm gonna tie this together here. Then if you follow this, I made another little group here, and I'm gonna tie these together. I'll show you when it's done. Alright guys, I'm done fixing up the wires. So I had this big bundle of extra wires here. I'm just gonna store it beside the battery because there's nothing there. So all I'm simply gonna do is tuck it in there, make it go around the battery here, and see, nice and clean. So I'm gonna cut off the ends of the zip ties, but basically so here's the positive and negative. I never touched them yet, but cable runs around here. This is a relay. Then it goes over here, across there. And then now if we go to the other side, I also had a bundle, a little bit of a smaller bundle, but came around here, and then I just zip tied this. There's nothing moving here that's gonna get caught between the wires, and nothing here is really gonna heat up in this area. So like here you have the windshield fluid tubes, but basically I just zip tied it onto this wiring harness, and I did that for the whole thing. So I'm just gonna cut off the ends of the zip ties to make sure they're all tight, and I'll be back. Alright guys, so all that's left now is to connect the battery. So for this you're just gonna need a 10mm socket like this and an extension. So all we're gonna do is take this bolt out and then this bolt out, and we're just gonna connect the terminal, the leads here. You don't need to take the whole part out, just this little part. So something like this. Just make sure that the wires here, it makes sense to, they're not going to be tangled and stuff. Just like that. Now we're just going to tie it. Another little tip is just to keep it to, like, position it like this. just so you're not bending this wire here, because when you tie it, it's gonna bend like this way. So this just makes the most sense. And it'll preserve the wire. So I'm not going to tie it down all the way, but just so it's nice and snug like this. Same thing with the other side on the positive side. And then you should be ready to go. Go flick the switch. So I'll be back when I get the positive one on. Alright guys, so all the battery stuff to do with the battery are all connected. Now, time for the moment of truth. I'm just going to go turn it on and let's see how it looks. Hey, that looks really nice. Just as a little safety precaution, I wouldn't use these on like actual roadways because they're really bright, and my version only has one mode. It's either on or off, right? I know in my area it's actually illegal to have these on road use. But always check if it's illegal or not. Also, as like when you're done installing it, just leave it running for a little bit, just to make sure nothing heats up that isn't supposed to, and just monitor around the battery and the relays. But yeah, other than that, that's how you do it. Hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. See you guys next time. Alright, so these are your regular night lights that you would use. Then these are the high beams. And this is the LED bar, just to give you a perspective of how bright this is.